everybody and welcome to Dusty Book Sniffers. My name's Nicole and this is where we're going to talk about books. Hey, so thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I am not relatively new to YouTube, but I am new to BookTube, sort of. Some of you may already know me from over at Divinely Design Studio, and every Monday for the last, probably about 12 months, I have been doing a Stitch with me, and I've been talking about the books that I have read. Basically, a little bit of a backstory. I had a bit of a hiatus from reading, done a lot of non-fiction reading and all that sort of stuff while I was raising my children. My children have now grown. My granddaughter has gone back to live with her mum, so it's given me a lot more time to read books. So last year I really dived into catching up on all the books that I've missed, and I mean I still have read books in that time, but I decided that I was going to challenge myself and read 100 books for the year, and I surpassed that target, and this year is shaping up pretty much the same, and I've read, I think to date, 34 books. You can follow me over on Goodreads under Dusty Book Sniffers, and that way you'll keep up to date, because I don't know whether I'd end up getting to review every single book that I read this year, but most of them you'll be able to keep up to date with up there, what's going on and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, seeing I am new to BookTube, I would do the newbie tag today, and that way you can get to know me a little bit better. Some of you that I know have already subscribed already know me pretty well because you hang out with me over on Divinely Design Studio. So hey to everybody that's come over from there. Thank you so much for coming over to my second channel. I really do appreciate it. And if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up as well. And if you've got any other questions for me, by all means drop them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And as always with all of my videos on YouTube, I will leave all the links down below where you can find me on social media. Alright, so I have, as you can see, I've got all the books behind me, so this is a little bit of a better spot for me to sit and talk and talk about all the books, but it is in my craft area, so I do have a lot of my books out here, and I've got another section up in the studio where I've got all of my craft books. I've got another shelf in my lounge room that has all of my gardening books on it, and I've got another 4 shelves that just have that are full. They are full length, about 6 foot I think they are. I think they measure, and they are chock-a-block full of all sorts of books. So everything from witchcraft to herbalism to, there's a lot. I'm a very eclectic reader, so a lot of I've got 2 solid shelves of non-fiction stuff, and yeah, I've got fairy tales, you name it, I've got it. All right, so let's get into the newbie tag. I've got a series of questions here that I've got off and a couple of other channels. I've just gone through and had a look. I cannot remember them all, but I will link them up down below. And yeah, so basically it's the first question is the most simplest one. Why did you start this channel? So is it really the simplest one? I don't know. I actually started this channel, a second channel from my crafting channel, because I wanted to separate my books from my crafting, because not everybody's there for books and not everybody's there for crafting. So I thought the best way to do it would be to split the two, and this is where I'm at, and I've started my BookTube. So this is, as I said, this is my very first video. And that's the main reason why. And because my family gets sick when you're reading 100 books and they're not reading as much as you are. They get sick of hearing about all the books that you're reading. So I figured, hey, why not come here and talk to you guys about it, you know, to and fro and all that sort of stuff. I do have a Facebook group that is my crafting, and we do have a little bit of a reading section in there. We have bingos happening, and we have our very first read along happening at the beginning of May, and we've got the ABC challenge where you've got to read books titles that start with the letters of the alphabet. So we've got that going on. As I said, we've got a bingo that happens every 12 weeks. We do a new bingo spread, and that's starting to get a little bit of momentum over there as well. So that's something else that I do, and I get to talk to those people there, but I don't really get to talk to the people that are in my life on a day-to-day basis. My husband is an avid reader. He is a sci-fi reader. He really does like the sci-fi and dystopian sort of genre, so he's right into that, and he will be making an appearance every now and again on the channel. He was the one that came up with the name Dusty Book Sniffers, and he's a bit of a character, and he's not exactly PC, but you know, anyway, he will make an appearance every now and again. But that was the main reason, so we can share our thoughts with you guys, and I can talk about books as much as I want without everybody glazing over. My daughter is also an avid reader as well, and we do discuss books on and off, but being in year 12, she hasn't had a lot of time for reading except for what she has to do for school. So I sort of just leave her to her own devices, because it's a little bit like poking an angry bear at the moment with all the stress of year 12 and all the rest of it. So I'm just leaving her to her own devices, and when she wants to discuss books, we can. She has over 300 books in her room, so you can imagine what her room looks like. It's like walking into a library. She's got stacks on the floor and all the rest of it. I've got some of her books on here as well that she wants me to read. So she wants me to read this one. She gave me this one to read as well, and I haven't even looked at them. I go into a lot of the books that she gives me blind, and there was another one somewhere here, I can't think. Oh, she's right into serial killer stuff and all the rest of it. So, and she also wanted me to read this one as well, which I don't think I've ever read that one. No. So yeah, so that's the main reason that I wanted to start a channel, is just so I could talk about books with you guys and not stress my family out so much. All right, so what are some of the unique fun things that you can bring to BookTube? Well, I don't know if I'm going to bring anything unique. Maybe my husband, he's a bit unique. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to bring anything unique. I guess only time will tell, but you can expect from my channel me talking about books, book reviews, out and about, like the book shopping and stuff like that, especially to like here in Australia we have a thing called Bookfest, and it's a Lifeline run that, and so they get all their books that come into their like charity drop-offs and stuff like that, and basically they go around the country and all the rest of it. And here in my local town as well, they do a library flush out, and then the schools and the PNCs will pick up the books, and then they'll run an event and they get the funds from that. So I like to go to those sort of things, and I've got a haul coming up where I just went to one here in our local. It's great now that things are starting to go back to normal. All our things are starting to come back that we really do enjoy, and it was the first time that I got to go to something, but I'll get into that in another video. But yeah, I don't know whether I will bring anything unique. Yeah, so we'll have haul videos and all that sort of stuff. You know, and as I said, my tastes are very eclectic, and I read a lot of different stuff, different things, and yeah, so there'll be lots of different things on this channel, I guess, than, you know, the new releases and stuff like that. What am I most excited about starting this channel? Well, I'm super excited that I'm going to be able to talk about books with everybody and get other people's opinions and recommendations and all that sort of stuff. So I'm super excited, very excited about that. And I'm sure my family's going to be very excited about it as well. Why do I love reading? Duh, because it's reading. I love reading because it takes me to other places. When I'm reading fiction, I get drawn into that world, and through COVID and all that sort of stuff, it's really brought me, like, getting back into reading. It's really taking me places when otherwise we haven't been able to travel. So we were just gearing up to start traveling overseas when it all started happening, cruises and all that sort of stuff. So it's been great. I've been able to fall into books, and I've always loved that about it, that I can imagine being in that world, or, you know, in that situation. I've learnt lots from books as well. And that's why I love reading, because it just gives me so much information, imagination, and it just transports me, and I just love it. That's the main reason that I love reading. The next question is, I had to really think about this one, and it's what book or series got you into reading? Now, I had to really think about this, and because I have been reading since such a young age, I think it was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe that really got me, and Anne of Green Gables really got me into reading. My grandmother and my mother were both avid readers, and they both always bought me books for my birthday, Christmas. At Easter time, they used to buy me a book along with an Easter egg. My grandmother used to always send books in the mail for me, everything from poetry to novels, all sorts of stuff, fairy books, you name it, she would send it to me. So the one book that sticks out the most is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I haven't read it since I was young, and I think I was in grade 4 or 5 when I think it was grade 4 when I read that. And so that's a long time ago. Very long time ago, actually. I should probably give it another read. So that is the one that stands out the most in my memory. And I believe that it was actually a present for my birthday from my grandmother. So she may have bought, I think she bought it, sent it in the mail. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, that was the one that stands out in my memory the most. And Anne of Green Gables is the other one. So it's a toss up between those two, and I can't remember in which order that I read them. So, but it was a very long time ago. All right, this one here, I don't know what I would ask other YouTubers, like my favorite YouTubers. I like watching Murphy Napier, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Clockwork Reader is another one that I like reading. They're quite large channels, and sorry, not reading, watching. They're quite large channels, and I like to see what they're reading and all that sort of stuff. I don't know whether I have a lot of questions because I'm not relatively new to YouTube. I've been I've had my other channel for a couple of years now, and so the most obvious question would be your favorite genre. Why do you read that? What draws you to that would be one question. Another question I'd probably ask is how do you find, because everybody's different, everybody's life is different, everybody's got different time scheduling and all that sort of stuff. So how do they manage to fit all of their reading in? And are you a speed reader, or do you just read for the sake of reading, or do you like to skim and stuff like that? So there's some of the obvious questions that I would ask. Other than that, I don't really have anything on the YouTube side of things or the BookTube side of things. It's more about their personal preferences and stuff like that, more personal, in-depth questions, I guess. All right, the other one is, the next question is, what challenges do you think about, do you think starting a BookTube channel, and what would be the hardest to overcome? Sorry about that. I was thinking about the question as I was reading it. So I don't think there's anything hard. I don't think I'm going to have any challenges as such for starting the channel. I mean, getting subscribers is one. Having people view the videos is probably another challenge to get, because I'm not great with social media marketing and stuff like that. And I'm not really in this one on this channel to market and all that sort of stuff. And even my other one, I'm more there for the community, building the community, making friendships and stuff like that. So but the other challenge is being heard, because I'm a very self-conscious person. I don't have a great self-esteem. I do doubt myself and my ability at times and stuff like that. And anybody that's known me for a while knows that is a common thread with me. I feel very self-conscious about talking about things, especially on an intellectual level and stuff like that. Like, I know I'm a smart girl and all that sort of stuff, but I still don't like to voice my opinion, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And that I will find challenging to think that, my voice has a right to be heard and stuff like that. So that is going to be very challenging for me, because this is very much out of my comfort zone, where I'm talking about my personal opinions and stuff like that. Although I have had some practice on my other channel about reviews and stuff like that, and they're not analytical reviews or anything like that. They're more just how I felt about the book and what it gave to me, and if I would recommend it to someone. A few people have said to me, just listening to me, that, I'm sitting there stitching. I'm not actually sitting in front of the camera, and I'm just waffling on about the books that I've read in that past week. Sometimes it might only be 2, sometimes it might be 4 or 5. So basically they have said that they've actually picked up books and stuff that I have talked about because they sounded interesting, and I try not to give spoilers. Some of the series that I'm reading, which is by Blake Pierce, and it's the Perfect series. It's really hard to talk about the book when you're 19 books into it without giving some sort of spoilers away. And it was the same for the Virgin River books. I had really a hard time trying not to give stuff away. I'd stop myself from talking. So that's probably some of the hardest things that I'm going to find about the channel, is sitting in front of the camera, actually talking about the books, but not coming from an analytical point of view. I hope that makes sense to you. But anyway, that's sort of, I feel, is going to be the hardest thing. Well, when did you start reading? Okay, when did I start reading? Being told by relatives, and I actually had to send a couple of messages to some relatives ages ago and ask them when I started reading, because I've always been told that I started reading at a very early age. Apparently I started reading under the age of 5, and they believe that I started reading because I was always read to. So my grandmother would read to me, my grandfather would read to me, my mum read to me, teachers would read to me, and so I guess it was just a natural thing for me to pick up books. Now I've done the same with my children, and my eldest daughter Savannah, who's still living at home, she actually started reading at a very young age, and she was about 4.5 when she started reading, kids books and stuff like that. So I guess that around 5, under 5 is what the relatives have told me. I don't remember reading back then. As I said, the first book that I can remember is the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Or Anne of Green Gables. I don't know which came first. So yeah, under 5. All right, the next one is, where do you like to read? Well, I start my day with reading and I end my day with reading. So of course I'm going to say I love reading in bed. I love nothing more in summer, and sometimes in winter, and sometimes in summer, curling up in bed, and just in winter pulling all the blankets on me and all my fluffy pillows around me and just curling up and reading a book and drifting off to another place. In summer I usually do that to escape the heat, so the aircon is cranked on and I don't obviously have all the blankets and fluffy pillows around me, but I like to go in and have a bit of a read. And as I said, I start my day and finish my day with reading. I generally do about 2 hours of reading a night, anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that's how I finish my day. And I do about 30 minutes to an hour in the morning, depending on what time I get up. I like to rise a little bit early so the house is not up and about, because I do have a younger child that likes to come out. As soon as she sees me with a book, she wants to have a chat. If I put that book down and go about my business, I don't see her for hide or hair. So I like to get up fairly early, get some exercise in, and then sit down with my morning cuppa and read a book, whether it's for 30 minutes to an hour. What kind of books do you like to read? I don't have a favourite genre. I like to read as much as I can on all different levels, everything from non-fiction right through to fiction. And I like fantasy and all that sort of stuff. I can probably answer it this way. The least books that I read in a genre would be sci-fi. Can't get there. I've tried. So if you've got a good recommendation for a starter for sci-fi, please leave it down below, because I do struggle with that. And the other one is memoirs. I haven't read a lot of memoirs, and so this year I'm trying to read more, and I've got a few that I picked up at Bookarama here in where I live, and so I'll be adding them to my TBR for this year. Some older ones as well, so I'm not just looking for new memoirs. I'm looking for stuff that's older, maybe, from the 50s, the 60s, different subjects about their life and all that sort of stuff. I mean, what better way to learn about different subjects than actually immersing yourself in a book about their life. And I don't know why I haven't read memoirs as much as other genres. I just guess they weren't what I gravitated to because of my time constraints of raising children and stuff like that. So yeah, I would have to say that I read anything. If it's got pages, I'm reading it. But basically the only ones that I don't read any sci-fi. I've tried a couple of times and I've not finished the books. My husband is avid sci-fi reader and he's always trying to get me into it. But I just can't get there for some reason. And yeah, memoirs is the other one, but I'm rectifying that. I don't really read a lot of classics either, but I'm also rectifying that as well. This year I'm trying to read, and I haven't started yet, although I did start in December. I'm trying to read Charles Dickens classics. So last year I read all of Jane Austen, and this year is Charles Dickens, and I haven't started yet. I think I've read like maybe 2 pages of the Pickwick Papers. So that is the one that I'm trying to devour at the moment. All right, what is your book collection look like? Well, this is part of it. These are just some of the books that I've got recently. At the end of last year, I came across a website called The Book Grocer, and basically what that was is boxes of books. And I have lost a lot of books over the years. We lived out west and we had a mouse plague out there, and I lost a lot of books. I've lost books from my childhood in floods and stuff like that. So most of the books that are on my bookshelf now are probably in the last 10 years. And a lot of these books, about 80 of the books that I've got, some are here, some are inside, and all the rest of it have been from the Book Grocer. So I was buying boxes of books, and it's $100, and you get anywhere from 16 to 18 books, and you can get them in different genres. So you can get YA, you can get fantasy, historical fiction, or literary fiction, all that sort of stuff. And it's mostly mass-produced paperbacks that you get, but you do get a few hardcovers every now and again. And then at Christmas time, I got a book advent box, and I opened up a book every day on my other channel, and while I was stitching away, and we talked about that book and what it was about, and you know what I got and what I was doing for that day and whatnot. It was sort of like a vlog style video series that I've done. I got a lot of those books. A lot of them are here, some of them are read. I mean, I've got Harry Potter, I've got the Witcher series, I've got Discovery of Witcher series here, then I've got a whole heap. I've got Shadow and Bone, and I've got Wheel of Time. Not all of the series of Wheel of Time. I've only got the first 2 books. I'm starting to collect those. Name of the Wind. What else have I got? Percy Jackson. Oh, and my new my husband's gonna kill me. Clothbound classics. So this is my new obsession. I want to collect all these. I just love the covers. So yeah, so Alice in Wonderland was the first one that I got. One of my favorite books. So yeah, so that's just some of the books. And as I said, I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bookshelves inside. And then I've got a whole heap of these cube style ones up here that have all my craft books and all the rest of it. You know, like pattern books and all that, everything that goes with that sort of stuff. And then I've got another cube one just off camera here that's got another collection of craft books starting in it. So everything from knitting and all that sort of stuff, because I'm an avid crafter as well as an avid reader. So yeah, but that is all of the questions that we have for this tag. Hopefully you enjoyed my first video. A little bit lengthy, but I do like to have a chat, and I do like to talk about the books that I've read. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, a thumbs up down below, leave me a comment down below, and tell me a good sci-fi book to get me into sci-fi so I can relate to what my husband's talking about. All right, that's it from me today, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.